this video is about. She stood near the art studio, and a rich stranger started a conversation. If this story touches your heart, please mention where you are watching from in the comments. Please like the video and share your thoughts in comments. The air was thick with the scent of turpentine and damp clay as Mia stood outside the art studio she had frequented for years. She was uncharacteristically restless today, her heart racing in rhythm with the vibrant colors spilling from the windows. A crisp autumn breeze swept through the courtyard, rustling the golden leaves that scattered across the cobblestones. It was a familiar sanctuary, yet a part of her felt out of place, a sense of anticipation prickling at her skin. Mia shifted her weight, glancing at her watch. She had hoped to catch a glimpse of her mentor, Professor Ellis, but the studio seemed unusually empty. The vivid canvases lined the walls like old friends, and she could almost hear their silent conversations. She inhaled deeply, attempting to ground herself amidst the swirling emotions. Just as she was about to turn away, a rich, resonant voice cut through the ambient sounds of the courtyard. "You seem lost in thought. What masterpiece occupies your mind?" Startled, Mia turned to find a man leaning casually against the wrought iron railing, his posture relaxed yet commanding. He had an air of self-assuredness that caught her off guard. Dark hair fell in soft waves around his ears, and his deep-set hazel eyes sparkled with mischief. He wore a tailored navy blazer, a hint of a white shirt peeking from beneath, and for a fleeting moment, Mia felt an inexplicable pull toward him. She stumbled over her words, caught in the intensity of his gaze. "I was just admiring the studio. It's always inspiring here." He chuckled softly, the sound warm and inviting. "Inspiring indeed, but it seems like the true inspiration might be found in the artist rather than the canvas." His eyes glimmered with intrigue, making her heart race inexplicably. Mia felt a flush creep up her neck. "I wouldn't say I'm an artist," she replied, trying to maintain her composure. "Just a student trying to find her footing in this chaotic world of color and form." "Sometimes finding your footing means stepping outside your comfort zone," he said with a knowing smile. "I'm Julian, by the way, and I think you underestimate your artistic abilities." "Julian," she repeated, savoring the way his name rolled off her tongue. "I'm Mia." She extended her hand, and as he took it, a jolt of electricity coursed through her. His grip was firm yet gentle, and she quickly withdrew her hand, feeling unexpectedly shy. "What brings you here today, Mia?" Julian leaned closer, his curiosity palpable. The way he studied her made her heart flutter, as if he could see through her guarded exterior. "I've been working on a project for my class," she replied, trying to sound casual. "It's a study of light and shadow, but I'm struggling to capture the essence of it. It's frustrating." The eternal struggle of an artist," he mused, his gaze unwavering. "May I offer a suggestion? Sometimes, stepping back and viewing your work from a distance, both literally and figuratively, can provide clarity." She nodded, feeling an odd mix of admiration and annoyance at his easy confidence. "That sounds simple enough in theory, but when you're in the moment, it's hard to let go." "True," he said, tilting his head slightly. "But isn't that what art is? A reflection of our inner turmoil and the beauty within it? You seem to have a lot of depth lurking beneath the surface." His compliment sent a warm blush through her cheeks. "I'm not sure about that," she replied, biting her lip. "I'm just an ordinary girl trying to navigate my way through life and art." "Ordinary?" Julian raised an eyebrow. "I beg to differ. There's something uniquely intriguing about you, Mia. I can sense it." Mia felt a mix of warmth and trepidation. No one had ever looked at her like that, with such intensity and interest. "What makes you say that?" she asked, trying to deflect but unable to resist his charm. "You have a light about you, an energy that draws people in," he said, his voice low and smooth. "But you also have shadows, layers of complexity that you're yet to reveal. I find that fascinating." Mia's heart raced at his words. She felt exposed, yet there was a flicker of excitement at the thought of someone wanting to know her, to peel back her layers. "Maybe it's just the art talking," she replied, attempting to divert the conversation. "I'm not sure what you see." "Maybe it's a bit of both," he countered playfully. "Art can be a gateway to understanding ourselves better. Who knows, perhaps I could help you uncover these layers you keep hidden." She laughed softly, a mix of disbelief and intrigue. "And how would you do that, Julian? Are you secretly an art therapist?" "Not quite," he replied, grinning. "But I've always found that the best conversations happen when you let your guard down. Consider it a challenge." Mia raised an eyebrow, skepticism creeping into her voice. "A challenge? You think it's that simple?" "I do," he said, his tone earnest. "Life is too short to hide behind walls. Let's go grab a coffee or something. I promise I won't bite." She hesitated, the weight of her responsibilities creeping in. "I have a class soon," she said reluctantly, glancing back at the studio. But the spark in his eyes was hard to ignore. "Just one coffee then," he coaxed, stepping closer. "What's the worst that could happen?" Her heart raced as she met his gaze, a mix of desire and doubt swirling within her. "Fine. Just one coffee." She relented, feeling a thrill of adventure coursing through her. "Perfect," he said, a triumphant smile breaking across his face. "I know just the place." As they walked side by side, the air between them crackled with unspoken tension, an electric current that ignited every nerve ending in her body. Julian's presence was intoxicating, and Mia found herself stealing glances at him, wondering about the man behind the charm. "What do you do, Julian?" she asked, curiosity piqued. "You seem, well, not ordinary." He chuckled, his hazel eyes glinting with amusement. "You could say I dabble in the world of finance. It's not nearly as exciting as art, but it pays the bills." "Finance, huh?" she said, amused. "Do you ever find time to nurture your own creative side?" "Funny you should ask," he replied, his voice dropping slightly. "I used to draw as a kid, but somewhere along the way numbers took over. I've always admired the passion artists have for creation, though. It's something I'm envious of." Mia sensed a flicker of vulnerability beneath his confident exterior, a glimpse into the man he might be when the mask of wealth and success slipped away. "You could always pick up a pencil again," she suggested, feeling the urge to encourage him. "It's never too late to express yourself." "Perhaps," Julian replied, his tone contemplative. "But what if the fear of failure keeps me from trying?" "Then you're missing out," she said, her voice softening. "Art is as much about the process as it is about the outcome. It's a journey, not a destination." He looked at her, surprise etched across his features. "You really believe that, don't you?" "I do," she replied earnestly, her heart aching at the thought of anyone feeling stifled by expectations. "Art has a way of freeing us, of allowing us to explore our innermost thoughts and feelings." "Maybe you should give me a lesson in that," he teased, his smile warm. "You seem to have it all figured out." Mia's breath caught in her throat as their eyes locked, a moment suspended in time. The world around them faded, leaving only the two of them wrapped in an unspoken connection, a tension so palpable it felt like a thread pulling them closer. "I'm not an expert," she murmured, heat creeping into her cheeks once again. "I'm just trying to figure things out like everyone else." "And that's what makes you intriguing," he replied, his voice low and intimate, sending shivers down her spine. "There's beauty in that uncertainty, Mia. It makes life more vibrant." Just as she was about to respond, a loud horn honked nearby, breaking the spell between them. They both turned, laughter bubbling up from within her at the sudden interruption. "Let's get that coffee before I lose my nerve," Julian suggested, his playful grin returning. Mia nodded, her heart racing in tandem with the excitement coursing through her veins. She couldn't shake the feeling that this encounter was just the beginning. A prelude to something deeper. Something that might change the very fabric of her life. Mia and Julian walked side by side, the crisp autumn air wrapping around them like a soft embrace. The vibrant colors of the leaves mirrored the intensity pulsing between them, and she couldn't help but steal glances at him. The way he moved effortless, his hands casually tucked into his pockets, hinted at a confidence she found magnetic. "Do you have a favorite artist?" Julian asked, breaking the comfortable silence between them. "Someone who inspires you?" Mia took a moment to think. "I've always admired Frida Kahlo. Her work is so raw and emotional, a reflection of her pain and passion. It resonates with me." She paused, her heart fluttering as she continued. "I appreciate the vulnerability in her art." "Vulnerability is a powerful thing," Julian remarked, his gaze steady. "It's like opening a door to your soul, allowing others to see the beauty and chaos within." "This conversation is getting surprisingly deep for a coffee date," Mia teased, a playful smile tugging at her lips. "I thought we were just going to sip lattes and chat about the weather." He chuckled, a rich sound that sent warmth flooding through her. "Well, I guess I'm not very good at small talk. I prefer conversations that matter." "Well, it's refreshing," she admitted, her cheeks warming as they approached the cafe. The aroma of fresh coffee enveloped them, and she felt her stomach flutter at the thought of what was to come. As they entered, the barista greeted them with a friendly smile. Julian ordered a cappuccino, and Mia opted for a chai latte, hoping the warmth would soothe her nerves. They settled into a cozy nook, the small table adorned with a flickering candle that cast dancing shadows across their faces. "So, what else do you love about art?" Julian leaned in, resting his chin on his hand, his hazel eyes locked onto her. A small part of Mia felt exposed, as if he could see right through her facade. "I love how art can evoke emotions," she replied, her voice softening. "It can make you feel understood, or it can challenge your perceptions. It's like a universal language." "Exactly," he nodded, his expression earnest. "I think that's why people are drawn to it. It's a way to connect with something greater." He paused, a flicker of vulnerability crossing his features. "But what if they don't connect? What if the artist feels invisible?" Mia's heart ached at his words. "Then it's the artist's responsibility to keep pushing through the doubt. Every great artist has faced rejection. It's part of the journey." Julian let out a thoughtful sigh. "You really believe that, don't you? That persistence will lead to fulfillment?" "I do," she replied, her voice steadier than she felt. "Life is full of challenges, but it's how we respond to them that defines us. If you don't try, you'll never know what you're capable of." "I like that perspective," he said, a hint of admiration in his tone. "You're like a breath of fresh air, Mia. I can't help but be drawn to your passion." The compliment sent a ripple of warmth through her, and she felt a shy smile creeping onto her face. "Thanks, Julian. It's nice to be seen for more than just the surface." "Trust me, I see you," he said, his voice dropping to a deeper register, sending shivers racing down her spine. The look in his eyes held an intensity that made her breath hitch, and for a moment they were lost in each other's gaze. Just then, the barista interrupted, placing their drinks on the table. "Here you go. Enjoy," she chirped before walking away, oblivious to the tension lingering between Mia and Julian. Mia took a sip of her chai latte, hoping to calm her racing heart. "So tell me, what else do you do in your spare time aside from finance?" she asked, trying to steer the conversation back to lighter territory. "Let's see," he began, tapping his fingers on the table in thought. "I enjoy hiking when the weather allows it. There's something therapeutic about being in nature, away from the city's chaos." "Hiking? Really?" she replied, her curiosity piqued. "Any favorite trails?" "Yes, actually. There's this beautiful trail in the mountains not far from here. It leads to a stunning viewpoint overlooking the city. You should join me sometime," he suggested, his voice laced with a hint of mischief. Mia felt her heart skip a beat at the invitation. "Are you asking me out on an adventure?" she teased, raising an eyebrow. "Only if you're up for it," he countered, a playful grin dancing on his lips. But be warned, I'm competitive when it comes to reaching the summit first, Cardo. I'll hold you to that." She laughed, feeling a surge of excitement at the thought of spending more time with him. "But, warning, I might just outpace you." Julian leaned forward, his expression turning serious. "I'd like to see you try, but I have a feeling you might surprise me in more ways than one." The air thickened with unspoken words, and Mia's pulse quickened. She set her cup down, suddenly aware of the heat radiating from him. His gaze was intense, and she felt a magnetic pull drawing them closer. She started, but the moment was interrupted by the sudden ringing of her phone. She fished it from her bag, glancing at the screen. It was a text from her best friend, Claire, asking about dinner plans. "Sorry, just a moment," Mia said, her heart sinking slightly as she read the message. She felt a wave of annoyance wash over her at the interruption. Just when things were getting interesting. Julian observed her, his expression shifting to one of curiosity. "Everything okay?" "Yeah, just my friend checking in," she replied, trying to mask her frustration. "We were supposed to have dinner later, but I might be a little late." "Is it important?" he asked, his gaze steady as he studied her. "Not really," she admitted, hesitating. "But I should probably respond." "Do what you need to do," he said, waving a hand dismissively. "I'm enjoying our conversation, but don't feel pressured to stay." Mia hesitated, feeling a pang of desire to stay lost in this moment with him. "I appreciate that," she said softly, her heart conflicted. "But I don't want to leave you hanging either." "I get it, but you shouldn't feel obligated to choose me over your friends," he said, his tone gentle. "We can always continue this another time." "I don't want another time," she blurted out before she could stop herself, her cheeks flushing with embarrassment. "I mean, I like this. I like you." His eyes widened slightly, surprise flickering across his features. "You like me?" "Yes," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "But it's complicated, and I don't want to ruin this moment by rushing things. I just feel a connection with you." A slow smile spread across his face, and relief flooded her. "Good, because I feel it too." The world outside faded, leaving only the two of them wrapped in this moment, the chemistry swirling around them like an unbreakable bond. The atmosphere shifted, crackling with a new intensity that made her heart race. Just then, her phone buzzed again, cutting through the charged silence. She glanced down, irritation bubbling up once more. "It's Claire again," she said, letting out a frustrated sigh. "I should really respond." "Go ahead," Julian urged, his eyes softening. "I promise I won't run away. I'll be right here waiting." With a reluctant nod, Mia typed out a quick reply, her mind racing. As she hit send, she felt a sense of conflict brewing inside her. The connection between them was electrifying, yet a nagging thought tugged at her mind. Was this too fast? Would it lead to something deeper, or risk shattering her heart? "Done," she said, her heart still racing. She looked up to find Julian watching her with an intensity that made her breath hitch. "Now that was a daring move," he teased, his smile playful. "I'm impressed." Mia couldn't help but laugh, a mix of nerves and exhilaration flooding her. "Maybe I'm full of surprises." "Maybe you are," he replied, leaning forward slightly, his voice dropping low. "But tell me, what else are you hiding beneath those layers?" She felt her breath catch in her throat, a mixture of desire and uncertainty swirling within her. She could sense the heat between them, the unspoken words lingering in the air like a delicious tension. "I guess you'll have to find out," she said, her voice teasing yet challenging, her heart racing at the thrill of it all. "Challenge accepted," Julian replied, a wicked grin on his face. The air around them crackled with possibilities, and in that moment, surrounded by the warmth of their connection, Mia felt like anything was possible. As they shared laughter and stories, Mia couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. Perhaps their paths had crossed for a reason, and whatever lay ahead would unfold in its own time, a journey filled with both art and the unexpected brushstrokes of life. The cafe buzzed with chatter and the faint clinking of ceramic cups, yet in their cozy nook, it felt as if time had slowed to a whisper. Mia's heart raced at the prospect of exploring uncharted territory with Julian. The warmth of their connection hung thick in the air, each word exchanged punctuated by the magnetic tension swirling around them. "I've got to say you're a breath of fresh air, Mia," Julian said, his gaze steady, an intensity behind his words that made her pulse quicken. "Sometimes, it's hard to find genuine people in this world." Mia couldn't help the small smile that tugged at her lips. "Genuine? You make it sound like I'm some sort of rare gem." "Oh, but you are," he countered, leaning back slightly, his expression playful yet sincere. "A gem people overlook too often. I can't help but wonder what else lies beneath that surface." She felt warmth creep into her cheeks at his compliment, her heart racing at the thought of revealing more of herself to him. "Well, you might be in for a long wait then. I'm not exactly the easiest person to get to know." "Is that a challenge?" he asked, a glint of mischief in his hazel eyes. "Because I'm good at taking on challenges." Mia arched an eyebrow, her heart fluttering. "You might regret that. I'm not as simple as I seem." "Then let's peel back those layers," he urged, a playful smile dancing on his lips. "What's something you've always wanted to create but never had the chance?" She hesitated, caught off guard by the question. "Honestly, I've always dreamed of making a mural in the city, something that speaks to the heart of the community. I want to evoke emotions, challenge perceptions." Julian nodded, his interest genuine. "That sounds incredible. Why haven't you pursued it?" "It feels ambitious," she admitted, her voice softening. "What if I fail? What if no one connects with it?" "Then you've learned something valuable," he replied, leaning forward slightly. "Art is risky business, Mia. But isn't that what makes it worthwhile?" Her heart fluttered at his encouragement, yet doubt lingered in her mind. "It's easier said than done. I've always been the one cheering on others, not the one stepping into the limelight." "Why not change that?" he challenged gently, his gaze unwavering. "You have a story to tell, a voice that deserves to be heard. Don't let fear hold you back." Mia felt a rush of conflicting emotions at his words. "You really believe that?" "I do," he replied earnestly, his voice low and intimate. "I can see it in you. You just need to trust yourself." His belief in her was like a balm to her insecurities, yet a twinge of self-doubt clenched tightly in her chest. "It's just, what if I let everyone down? What if it's not enough?" "Enough for whom?" he asked, tilting his head slightly. "The only person whose approval matters is yours. You shouldn't let the fear of judgment dictate your worth." Mia's breath caught in her throat, the intensity of his gaze sending a thrill through her. "You really make it sound easy." "Maybe it is easy for me," Julian said, a glint of vulnerability creeping into his tone. "But I've avoided my own creative impulses for years. Sometimes it takes a push from someone else." His admission touched her deeply, and she sensed the layers of his persona peeling away, revealing a vulnerability she hadn't expected. "You? Avoiding your creative side? Surprising, isn't it?" he chuckled softly, but the laughter didn't reach his eyes. "We're all afraid of failure in some form, Mia, even the ones who appear confident." The air between them thickened, and for a moment they lingered in silence, both grappling with their own insecurities. "So what's stopping you?" she asked, a spark of encouragement igniting within her. "Life, I guess," he replied, his expression contemplative. "Obligations, responsibilities. They tend to take over, you know." Mia nodded, understanding all too well the weight of expectations. "Sometimes it feels like a juggling act, doesn't it?" "Exactly," he said, his gaze softening. "But it makes you appreciate the moments when you throw caution to the wind and embrace spontaneity, like this coffee date." A smile crept onto her face, warming her heart. "I guess you have a point. Trust me, Mia," he said, his voice low and earnest. "You're not alone in this. I'm navigating my own doubts. But maybe together we can find our way through the chaos." His words resonated deeply, igniting hope within her. She felt a flutter of excitement at the idea of exploring their creative aspirations together. "So, a creative adventure? You and me?" "Exactly," he replied, a hint of charm in his smile. "We can motivate each other, push through the doubts and fears. Who knows what we might create?" "I love that idea," she said, her heart racing at the thought. "But it's still terrifying." "Good things often are," he countered, leaning closer. "Embrace the fear. Let it fuel you, instead of paralyze you." Mia felt a spark of courage ignite within her at his unwavering belief in her. "Maybe you're right. Maybe it's time to take that leap." "It is," he affirmed, his voice steady. "And I'll be right here, cheering you on." The intensity of his gaze sent shivers down her spine, and the magnetic pull between them was undeniable. Just as she opened her mouth to respond, a loud group of patrons erupted into laughter nearby, breaking the momentary spell. Mia's cheeks flushed with warmth, and she looked down, suddenly self-conscious. "Well, I guess I should probably focus on my art first. Only if it means you're willing to share it with me," he teased lightly, nudging her playfully. "I'm not letting you off the hook that easily." "Fine," she replied, her heart fluttering with anticipation. "But you have to promise to share your own creative aspirations, too." "Deal," he said, a confident smile gracing his lips. "But I'm not letting you downplay your talent. You have immense potential, Mia. Don't ever forget that." His sincerity washed over her like a warm wave, and she found herself leaning closer, caught in the gravity of his presence. "Thank you, Julian. You have no idea how much that means to me." "Maybe I do," he replied, his tone teasing yet soft. "You're not the only one looking for validation." They shared a moment of silence, the air thick with unspoken emotions, and Mia felt her heart race as Julian's gaze held hers. There was a magnetic tension pulling them closer, and as she stared into his hazel depths, she felt an urge to bridge the distance between them. Just then, the barista approached their table, interrupting the delicate moment. "Can I get you two anything else?" she asked cheerily. "Just the bill, please," Julian replied, his eyes still locked on Mia. "We're planning our next adventure." When the barista retreated, Mia took a deep breath, the urgency of the moment still hanging in the air. She could sense the tension swirling around them, an unspoken invitation that tugged at her heart. "Julian," she began, her voice low. "What if—" "Let's take it slow," he interrupted gently, his expression calm yet focused. "I don't want to rush anything. The connection we have is special. Let's explore it without pressure." She nodded, feeling a mixture of relief and disappointment. It was the right decision. She didn't want to force anything. Yet the thrill of wanting him lingered in her chest, a tantalizing whisper that urged her to lean into the moment. "Agreed," she replied, her heart pounding in her ears. "But I'm still curious about what lies beneath that charming exterior of yours." Julian chuckled, his smile warm and inviting. "Then consider me an open book. Ask away." As they continued their playful banter, Mia found herself drawn to the man before her, a rich stranger who had unexpectedly nudged her out of her comfort zone and ignited something deep within her. The connection was undeniable, and with each passing moment, she felt more alive, more hopeful than ever before. Perhaps this was more than just a fleeting coffee date. Perhaps this was the beginning of a journey she had never anticipated but desperately needed. And as they delved deeper, uncovering layers they had both kept hidden, Mia realized she was ready to embrace the adventure, whatever it may hold. Mia and Julian lingered over their cups, vibrant chatter swirling around them, yet it felt as if they were ensconced in a world of their own. The cafe, warm and inviting, buzzed with life, but all she could focus on was the man sitting across from her. "Okay, let's see," Julian said, tapping his fingers against the table as if pondering the mysteries of the universe. What's something you've done that made you feel truly alive? It was a question that caught her off guard, and she hesitated, her mind racing. Well, she began, choosing her words carefully. I went to an art retreat last summer. I painted day and night, just lost in the process. She smiled, the memory flooding her with warmth. It was liberating. Painting non-stop sounds incredible, he replied, genuine admiration lighting his eye. What did you create? Mia's smile faltered slightly, a flicker of self-doubt creeping in. Just some landscapes and abstract pieces. Nothing groundbreaking, really. She tried to brush it off, but the longing to share more was palpable. Nothing groundbreaking? Julian leaned forward, his eyes narrowing in playful disbelief. You painted for days on end and you dismiss it as nothing? Well, I mean, she stammered, her resolve softening under his gaze. They were more for practice than anything. I often feel like I'm just experimenting. Experimenting is how we grow, he stated, a firm conviction behind his words. You're exploring your voice. That's something to be proud of. Mia felt a rush of warmth at his encouragement, but that familiar pang of inadequacy returned. I guess I just want to make a mark, you know. Share something that resonates. And you will, he assured her, his voice steady. But you have to believe it too. Don't let your doubts drown out your passion. She met his gaze, her heart racing at the intensity of his words. Thanks, Julian. It's just hard sometimes. She tucked a loose strand of hair behind her ear, feeling vulnerable under his watchful eyes. Believe me, he said, his tone earnest. I can relate. I've spent years navigating my own fears, too. What do you mean? Mia asked, her curiosity piqued. He hesitated, as if weighing his response carefully. Like I said, I used to draw. I was good at it, but life happened, and I let it go. Sometimes I feel like I've lost a part of myself. Why not take it back? She suggested gently, the notion lighting a spark within her. You could start small, just like I'm trying to do. I have thought about it, he admitted, a flicker of vulnerability softening his features. And sometimes the desire is there, but the fear of judgment? It's paralyzing. Maybe we can help each other, Mia proposed, her heart racing at the thought. You push me to pursue my mural, and I'll encourage you to pick up a pencil again. I like that plan, he said, a playful grin appearing on his lips. But I warn you, I'm not great at taking advice. I tend to analyze everything to death. You and me both, she replied, laughter bubbling up, shocked at how easy it felt with him. But maybe we can hold each other accountable. Deal, he said, his smile infectious. Now we just have to figure out when we'll start. Mia felt a thrill wash over her at the prospect of working alongside him. Soon, I hope. This weekend, maybe? Saturday, he suggested, his eyes twinkling. I might even bring some supplies. Sounds perfect. She felt giddy at the thought of sharing this journey, of exploring creativity together. The idea made her heart race with excitement, but just as quickly, doubt seeped in again. But what if I fail? What if it's not good enough? Mia, Julian said, his tone soft but firm. Art isn't about being good enough. It's about expression. It's how you feel, not how it looks on a wall. I know that, she replied, her voice tinged with frustration. But I want to create something that matters. Then let's make it matter to you first, he countered gently, his gaze unwavering. You're the one who has to live with it. Don't worry about the rest. Mia's heart fluttered at his unwavering support, but just then, the cafe door swung open, a gust of cold air sweeping through the room. Instinctively, she shivered, pulling her cardigan tighter around her shoulders. Cold? Julian asked, concern etching his features. Do you want to move somewhere warmer? No, it's fine. Mia assured him, trying to shake off the chill. I'm just... Here, take my jacket, he said, shrugging it off and draping it over her shoulders before she could protest. It was warm, and she felt a rush of gratitude wash over her. Thanks, she murmured, her cheeks warming at the gesture. You're sweet. Just practical, he replied, his voice teasing. But there was something deeper in his eyes, a flicker of intimacy. I wouldn't want you to freeze while we plot our creative world domination. Mia laughed, the warmth spreading through her. Right, because that's our next big plan. Just then, her phone buzzed again, this time a message from Claire popping up on the screen. Hey girl, you still coming to dinner? Looks like I should check in, Mia said reluctantly, her heart sinking slightly. She didn't want to leave Julian's side, not when the conversation was flowing so effortlessly. Go ahead, he said, his tone encouraging. I promise I won't disappear. With a reluctant nod, Mia tapped out a quick response, her heart racing at the thought of how to balance her life and this unexpected connection. As she hit send, she glanced back at Julian. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. No apologies, he interrupted, his voice steady. You have a life beyond this moment. I get that. Just don't think I'm going anywhere. I don't want you to, she admitted, her heart fluttering. And I really enjoy this. Me too, he said, a warmth in his gaze that made her stomach flutter. So dinner can wait. I'd rather be here unraveling this mystery that is you. The compliment sent a rush of warmth through her. The way he looked at her was intoxicating. You make it sound so easy. I'm not sure I'm that interesting. Oh, but you are, he said, leaning closer, his voice low. There's depth to you, layers that intrigue me. I want to know what makes you tick. Their gazes locked, a charged silence enveloping them. Mia felt breathless, the world around them fading away. Just then, a couple at the next table burst into a fit of laughter, shattering the moment. Right, Mia said, a nervous laugh escaping her. I should probably answer Claire. Sure, take your time, he replied, a teasing glint in his eyes. I'll just pretend I'm not here, waiting for you to finish your important business. As she checked her phone again, she felt a pang of reluctance at the thought of leaving him. Okay, I'm going to have to meet them soon, but can we do this again? Absolutely, Julian assured her, his smile promising. I want to hear all about your mural plans. Great, and I want to hear about your own creative aspirations, she said, her heart racing at the thought of future encounters. Maybe we can even brainstorm more together. Sounds like a date, he replied, and the way he said it sent a thrill through her, igniting something deep within her. Mia felt her cheeks heat up again. I mean, yeah, a date. I just didn't... Relax, he said, his tone light yet sincere. I'd be honored to spend more time with you. Just let me know when. I'll bring coffee. Perfect, she said, feeling a rush of anticipation for what lay ahead. As they settled back into comfortable banter, the lingering tension between them was undeniable. A spark of something new and exciting. They continued to share stories, laughter punctuating their conversation, and as the evening wore on, Mia knew she was standing at the precipice of something monumental. The connection they were forging was more profound than she'd ever expected, and the thrill of it was intoxicating. As they finished their drinks, Julian leaned back, the playful smile still on his lips. We should probably wrap this up before we become those people who take over the cafe. Mia laughed, glancing around to see they were indeed one of the last tables occupied. You're right. I think we've overstayed our welcome. Let's leave them with fond memories of us, he quipped, his eyes sparkling with mischief. Memories of our creative genius, she teased, getting to her feet. Exactly, Julian replied, standing up beside her, their shoulders brushing. The light contact sent a jolt of electricity.